a side of Chuck Norris that you haven't seen. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. A lot of people of recent, it's been about a week since he died. And I noticed most of the posts that I saw online were actually pretty negative about the man. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. You would think there'd be a little bit of positive stuff out there, but apparently not a lot being said, particularly on X. And so I wanted to make this video because I actually found some rather curious things sort of hidden beneath the surface regarding the man that you've probably never heard before. We're going to get into that. Actually, we're going to get into a ton of stuff. In this video, we have, of course, Alan Ritchson recently getting into a brawl while riding his motorcycle through his neighborhood. We'll get into that a little bit. We got Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and Fallon, and some of the insane stuff that they have done of recent. We're going to get into also that a little bit. But most of it's going to be about Chuck Norris and also Sylvester Stallone and a few other things. Let's just get going here. Let's start with Alan Ritchson here, who obviously plays the character Reacher on the TV show Reacher. And here's what happened when he was just riding his motorcycle with his two sons down the road in his neighborhood.
Let me see what the speedometer says. I don't think he's going that. He doesn't look like he's going that fast. 19 miles an hour. He's going 19 fucking miles. The fuck is this?
So this neighbor apparently doesn't like him riding through the neighborhood. He's going under 20 miles an hour, which the guy was claiming he was going reckless through the neighborhood, which obviously isn't the case.
I should have run you over. True.
So what happened here is the neighbor, just walked out in the middle of the road, stood right in front of him as he's driving down the road. And Alan hit the brake and almost basically flipped off the bike because he hit the brake so hard. So he didn't want to hit the guy. And then now the guy's arguing with him and just being belligerent and apparently starts attacking Alan. So if you went on X, they made it sound like Alan was the bad guy, which is kind of funny because he's going 19 miles an hour. He clearly is not going 100 through the neighborhood on a motorcycle. So
driving like a lunatic, 19 miles an hour.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And the guy starts attacking him. And then so Alan just starts beating him up right there. It's kind of funny. Obviously, the guy's pretty big. It's not like he's a small guy. That's the entire point of him being on the show. Reacher.
Just beats the shit out of this guy with two.
Yeah, of course, his two kids are there watching. Obviously, I just thought it was kind of interesting because I saw everybody dogging on Alan, even though I think the reason why is because he doesn't support our president. But I mean, you got to be honest with the situation, right? And I think it was warranted what he did there. But we're going to get into a ton of stuff. Like I said, we're going to talk about Chuck Norris in a second, though. First, I want to mention Food Supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 5 weeks worth for $2.77. They also have other options available. Just click here and you can see them all. Tons of different options. Link is in the description. This book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity, with what's going on currently in the world, Iran, and all the other insanity. You might want to get this book just in case. $37. Get the printed version. Link is in the description. Let's get back to the video. So we have here Jimmy Fallon sings to Stephen Colbert and blames Trump for his firing before the two share a gay embrace. I gotta play this.
In 28, you'd have our vote. You did it your
way. Such a great couple there. Obviously, a complete joke. The late night shows are a complete and utter joke. We have here Theo Vaughn interviewing Vince about this. Check this out.
Why?
Exactly. I mean, that happened probably about 10 years ago, or maybe it was longer ago. I can't even remember how long ago it was when it all started. It was at least 10 years ago. It was at least, maybe 15, maybe more. I don't know. I stopped watching it a really long time ago. I can't remember. So long ago. Yeah, Vince Vaughn calls out late night shows, all feeling the same. Slam host Colbert and Kimmel for scolding. It stopped being funny. Obviously, 100% stopped being funny. Their shows are pathetic. I mean, they just make fun of the average person. They put out their propaganda. You remember the dancing needles and all that silly garbage back, what was that, 5 years ago? And, of course, Chuck Norris was calling all of this out. But look at how they're treating him. Chuck Norris was 100% behind our president when he got elected. I think we all were. Obviously, it's changed a little bit since then. Some people are not very happy with our president currently, with what's going on in Iran and some other things. But the fact was, this guy's on our side. And you can see these publications putting out disparaging articles. Politics may overshadow his legacy. He didn't go the way of Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel. He didn't just toe the line for the corrupt, of course, elite at the top. And unfortunately, it just, this is how they're treating him. He said he used to be a Democrat until they went too far left. Okay, we have here Chuck walked away when the left abandoned faith, freedom, family, the Constitution. He's not just a martial arts legend. He's a symbol of strength, clarity, and conviction. Let's check this out.
Yeah.
Why are you a conservative, sir?
Well, I used to be a Democrat, but unfortunately, the Democrats went too far to the left, and the Republicans moved into their position that the Democrats were 40 years ago. See, and so what the Democrats believed 40 years ago, the Republicans believe today. And
it's pretty crazy, actually, to think about. And now if you believe sort of like they did maybe 40 years ago on the right, you're labeled something far worse, right? That seems to be what it is. You have here Chuck Norris in one of his more infamous scenes. Check this out.
Excuse me, man. Don't you quit while you're ahead, partner.
Who the hell asked you?
Let me show you. Come on, tough guy.
Lots of people trying to attack him there. Pretty good, man. I remember all those old movies, right? He was in the one with Bruce Lee. That was one of his first major films, right? And then he was Delta Force. And then he was Walker, Texas Ranger. Here you have Sly. Talking about him, I had a great time working with Chuck. He's an All-American in every way. Great man. My condolences to his wonderful family. He was in, I think it was the Expendables there. And, of course, here you have the Chuck Norris jokes that started around the time of Walker, Texas Ranger, I think. Check this out.
And I bent down and I petted him. And all of a sudden, you heard this like that. So the trainer says, get up very slowly and back up. So the tiger did. He slowly got up and backed out.
Obviously a Chuck Norris joke there. Here you got another one from Expendables. Which one was this? Expendables 2. Yeah, let's check this out. This is pretty funny, actually.
By King Cobra.
Yeah, it was. But after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.
Oh, yes. There's actually websites dedicated to these jokes. I just saw a new one pop up. It's pretty funny. A lot of the action stars, Van Damme, Stallone, pay tribute to Chuck Norris, an American hero. Obviously, he's in the movies, right? But I mean, he stood for good values and sort of a rare breed these days, especially these days, with all the horrible things in Hollywood. Woke culture run amok, but you did have some gems in there, a few of them, not very many, but he would be one of them. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know about Chuck Norris is he was very, very much a person who helped other people out. He did a lot of charity, but he never bragged about it, never told anybody. That's why you don't know anything about it. So that's kind of amazing because when I went on X, 3/4 of the posts were just talking trash about him, saying, oh, he was this kind of person, he's super evil, and this, that, and the other. And that's all you saw. I mean, literally all the posts were just like calling him a trash person. And I thought that was kind of amazing. There was nothing good about him anywhere. I thought maybe I should put something good out. And apparently he did tons of charity and help, sort of Good Samaritan type of stuff, but never talked to anybody about it, never told anybody about it. He just did it.
But a lot of people that didn't want any credit, and Norris didn't want any. It was basically a secret call through actually Doug Sanders, who knew him. And he was just going to make that offer. And he said, we'll get you out here, get your family out here. If you guys need a piece, you got all the time you want. So I thought that was pretty, we didn't accept it because we didn't need it. But the fact the guy took his time out to make the offer, and I found out later he's done a bunch of stuff, doesn't say a word.
And this is how you're supposed to do it as a Christian, by the way. You're not supposed to be announcing on the rooftops how you helped out people, because that's literally the opposite of what Jesus said. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing. You don't give your alms in public so everybody can see it. Pray in public so, oh, look, that guy's so righteous. And of course, a lot of these politicians that act like they're religious, we know they're not whatsoever. They call themselves Christians, but then they do literally the exact opposite. They tell you they're doing charity when you know that they're freaking not. Oh, they got their little charity they set up. It ends up running money through it, doing obviously very questionable, perhaps also, or not perhaps, very obviously in many cases, evil things. Referring to a woman by the name of Hillary, who came out saying she was a Christian recently. I think you know which one I'm referring to. While actually talking about and against Christian men. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes total sense, don't it? And of course, she claimed her husband was doing charity work when he flew on that airplane. I think you know which airplane I'm referring to. The guy with the island, that airplane. By the way, I was going to talk about him as well a little bit, because we had a guest on Jimmy Kimmel. His name's Palm Beach, of course, Pete. I don't know if you heard about this guy, but he lives in the exact same area that Jeffrey did. He looks the same. His bottom row of teeth look very similar. I think I actually know I think I figured out what the guy was. Because apparently he also lived in the same places Jeffrey did when he lived there. For instance, he lived in Florida. He moved to New York. When he moved to New York, guess who else moved there? Palm Beach. Mr. Pete there did. And guess what? When he moved back to Florida, guess what? They both moved at the exact same time. That's kind of weird. I think I know who he is. Check this out.
And please say hello now to Palm Beach Pete, who is standing by. Hi, Pete. Hey, Jimmy. I were to point at, let's say Jeffrey Epstein was still alive, and I were to point at him, and then I were to point at you. Those fingers would be pointing in totally different directions, right?
No, I'm the better looking guy.
He just said no. And a lot of people just completely ignored that. They say, well, he doesn't look like him. The dude had, when we're talking about Jeffrey, he had doctors and dentists on call. If you go read the emails, you'll know this. He had all of that stuff available to him. I'm not saying this is him. It could be. It may not be. It's been 7 years since we saw him. He could have done a little plastic surgery in the last 7 years. He could have did a lot of stuff. Or this guy could be his body double. That may be why he was moving to the same places at the same time. You see what I'm getting at now? This guy could have been his body double that would go out and pretend to be him at various events and stuff. That's what I'm starting to think he might have been. He might have been his body double, or it could be just him with a, kind of like a Clark Kent Superman, like he's one of both of the same people at the same time kind of thing, right?
You are. Do people actually mistake you for him?
They Give me the double look.
Yeah, they give you the double look because he does look a little bit. He doesn't look the exact same. When you put the two, and actually I can show you, they actually look more similar than you think. When you look at him, you're like, something's different about him, right? He just doesn't look the exact same. Well, for one, he does his hair completely differently. That's one. When you look at their faces side by side, they look very similar, except for Palm Beach his face looks just slightly thinner. Like the bones here got shrunk in or something. That's about the only difference, actually, believe it or not. That makes a big difference in how your face looks. Your face looks a little thinner. That's almost the only difference. Okay, they actually have the same stutter, apparently, as well.
Films me, and then...
As perpetrating one of the largest...
And some knucklehead films me, and then...
As perpetrating one of the largest frauds...
Same exact stutter. Of course, he could have been his body double and takes on his stutters. I don't know. That's possible as well, right? Here you have them side by side. Looks very similar, but not the exact same. Very similar. There's a lot of really weird coincidences between the two people.
You're not Jeffrey Epstein?
I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete.
Yeah, you keep saying that over and over as well, by the way. But let's see here. Their teeth apparently are very similar. But not exact same. Apparently dentists have got on and, oh no, they're not the same teeth, even though they look very similar. Of course, he could have had dentistry done in the last 7 years. It's not that hard to do. This isn't exactly rocket science. I mean, he looks more like him than Jim Carrey looks like that body double we saw recently. Very easily. Of course, what's really bizarre is there's actually multiple of this man named Palm Beach Parent Pete. 4 different guys in the area call themselves that. And these are the 4 right here. Well, actually, one of those is Jeffrey there, but, 3 of them. Okay, there's 3. Not 4, 3. So you get the idea, right? At any rate, I just thought that was kind of funny. Throw that on the end. And there's actually some new thing I came out with about him as well. I'm going to show you over my other video, where apparently he might have actually got something done. And I'll show you that in my other video on my other channel. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.